did they yesterday and the day before?
And everyone else liked the Bengals story, and Wildes was like, I don't want to do spreadsheet football, and vetoed it.
He wanted to, hey, can we do a screen share?
No.
Can I? Because I got the salary cap. We're going to talk
That has nothing to do with the salary cap.
Let's talk Hendrickson.
It was a
It's not even the real GM.
Right.
A de facto GM said something nondescript about the Bengals roster. The Super Bowl is coming up, and we're going to talk about whether
Are the
or not they
Bengals
can
letting
keep...
Joe Burrow down would have been a better topic than the same Jalen Hurts combo. Everyone watch it anyway.
No,
Go ahead.
guess what? Joe Burrow himself and his topics are at home. Okay? Jalen Hurts this is why Jalen Hurts doesn't get any respect. Can't even get into the rundown. He's playing for the Super Bowl.
Can we do the
Time for the letter. Every day I go and look at the comments, and some days I look at the Bud list comments. Some days I make up fake things from Ryan and Brian. This is a real one. It's from Brian Hernandez. Like for Muscle Brew.
No.
Comment for Cowboy Brew. Oh, it didn't show up there. Brew, if you can look right here. 38 likes. I don't see it there. 38 likes, only 3 comments. We need Cowboy Brew for the LOLs. Then Brian says, I'm just looking out for Chris Broussard. Cowboy Brew is the one I like more. It's too funny. Problem is, the score is 2 to 38, but it was not a democracy. It's a monarchy when it comes to the letters, and I am the king, and we go with Cowboy Brew.
Look,
You're in a hotel there?
It's funny. It's just not realistic. I mean, it's funny. If you
From
want
3 minutes
to
ago-
go with the fake, body of brew versus the
3
real
minutes
one.
ago, you were talking about you were going to have cake, cupcake, which is insane. You have 2 cake products upstairs, chips, and something else.
That's what makes it so amazing that I can keep this bill eating like I do. All right, that's number 3.
That was 3 minutes.
I've been on this. You've been on Jalen Hurts. I'm on the Pro Bowl.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I mean, look,
about it.
This weekend, all football eyes will be on Orlando. There's no competitive games, so we're going to watch the Pro Bowl, the competitions and everything. And guess what that means? Drake May and Russell Wilson are also going to be on our screen.
Sounds good to me.
And look, this is no slight to them because Drake, I think, had a nice rookie year. He's got a bright future. And Russell Wilson had a nice bounce back year. Legitimate. But they weren't Pro Bowlers. And that's the problem. Now, look, I don't mind them getting a free trip to Orlando with their family. I don't mind them hobnobbing with the real Pro Bowlers. I don't even mind them playing in the game. I'm just saying, what I mind are the accolades. All right? Because this is how we rank players historically. This is how sometimes guys get in the Hall of Fame. How many Pro Bowls did he make? 20 years from now, there'll be a Nick Wright wannabe, on the air talking about Drake May took the league by storm. He was so good, he made the Pro Bowl. Look it up. And Russell Wilson, at 36, came back after 2 down years and was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm serious.
The Russell Wilson thing will happen in the meeting about is he a Hall of Famer? Be like, well, even after Seattle, he did make a Pro Bowl.
A down year with Sean Payton, and he came back and led the Steelers to the playoffs.
Right.
I'm dead serious.
That's true. That actually happened, though.
But he wasn't one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the AFC. No. That's true. Or one of the best 6 in the league. So, NFL, I believe in you. So get it right. All I'm saying is just take away the accolade. Russell Wilson and Drake May can go and the rest of the replacements, but they are not official Pro Bowl.
Brew, Dan Patrick suggested that the alternates just have to wear a different colored jersey, scarlet letter style.
No.
So,
See, I'm not even going that far. All right, at number 2, LaMelo Ball.
Oh, boy.
LaMelo Ball is balling. 28 points a game, 4th in the league. 7.3 assists a game, 9th in the league. One of only 3 players in the top 10 in both categories. All right, so you balling. Those are all-star numbers by any estimation. In fact, the fans, according to them, you got the most votes from the fans of all the Eastern Conference guards for the All-Star game. So despite that, though, LaMelo, tonight when the 14 reserves are named for the All-Star game, 7 in the East, 7 in the West, I don't think you're going to be among the 7. I really don't, because the coaches choose the reserves. And the coaches, they care about winning. All right, so If you are disappointed tonight, I don't know, I'm just predicting that you don't make the All-Star team. You might, I might be wrong. But if you don't, use this as a learning lesson. Don't get mad. You can get mad, you can get motivated and all that, but learn from it and start playing winning basketball. Your team is 12-32. That's the third worst record in the league. So start playing winning basketball. You don't right now. You're a highlight reel. You're a Harlem Globetrotter. You're an And1 mixtape, all that. Fun to watch. But you're not playing winning basketball. So stop shooting as much. You lead the league with 23 shots a game. That's 2 more than anybody else in the league. All right? Get more efficient. Get your teammates involved more. You are, after all, a point guard. Secondly, be more efficient. You shoot 42% from the floor. You take 12 threes a game and only make 33% of them. So be more efficient.
Takes 12
threes a game.
At 33 a clip?
Yes. And thirdly, pay some attention to the defensive end of the ball. You ain't got to be locked down, but be smart, be communicative, and be in the right place. Those 3 things. LaMelo, your game is nice. I really like your game. I think you could be a perennial all-star and one of the best players in the league, but you got to start playing winning basketball. So even if you make the all-star team, take that advice from me. I do believe in you. All right, at number 1, Jimmy Butler.
Oh, boy.
We know the story. Jimmy's not happy, didn't get the contract extension he wants. Miami won't give it to you, even though you got 1 year at $52 million next season left on your deal. You asked for a trade because you're not happy. You want to go to Phoenix because they apparently, for some reason, will give you this extension. All right, but that's a almost impossible trade to pull off. Memphis apparently is in the mix, but you don't want to go there because they won't give you the extension. Golden State's been named. Bottom line is the trade deadline is a week from now, and I think there's a good chance you're not traded.
Really?
Yes, because it's hard to make a deal for him, and the team has to commit to give him the extension. You're 35 years old. You haven't played 65 games in your last 5 years. This will make 6 seasons where you don't play 65 games. So it's going to be tough for a team to commit. I got to be honest, I wouldn't commit to giving you a long-term extension. So here's my advice to you, Jimmy. If you're not traded, all right, whether you are or not, but if you're not traded, go back to Miami, opt in, get your $52 million for next year, because there's only one team on the market next year that has that much cap room, the Brooklyn Nets. And they're rebuilding, so they're not going to give you that money. So you're not going to get that $52 million anywhere else. So opt in next year, get your money, and come back and be a good soldier and ball. Play your best, because maybe you show people that you're worth an extension in the future. This pouting is not going to get it done. All right, so come back, play your best, because after all, you are getting paid $50 million this year, $49 million, and $52 million next year. It's called being a professional. All right, you're getting paid for that. Go do your job. You're a great player. Don't let it end this way. You're a great story, what you come from to be this great player, probably a Hall of Famer. Don't let it end with this nonsense. So, Jimmy, I believe in you. Do the right thing. It's the Bud List.
That was great. As always, great Bud List.
Well, I'm going to go straight to the Super Bowl and focus on Jalen Hurts. Shocker.
You don't believe in him?
No, this is the Bud List.
Oh,
Motivation.
Motivation.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, let's be honest. The fact that we're having discussions revolving around how much credit one should give you should let you know that we kind of all are waiting to see what you said that we want to see when you played well. So in this game, you got to believe, whether you are willing to admit it or not, that the Kansas City Chiefs are having the same questions that we're having. And they're going to approach this game understanding what they know to be true. And we all know to be true. Got a great running game. Got an awesome running back. Got an awesome receiving core. They have a good quarterback. You see the difference? You have an opportunity, and you've done it before. You've elevated your level of play. You gave us sound bites that makes us want to look at it even more with a fine-tooth comb and a microscope, saying, you know what? Let me out of my straitjacket. Is this what you all wanted to see? So you're bringing the attention to yourself and this offense. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to bring the defense. They're going to make a decision, and I bet you it's going to be to stop that guy that's in the backfield with you. Jalen Hurts, the floor is yours. Show us all what we want to see. I believe in you.
That's a good one. Look, I'll give Jalen this, because you're right. Great receivers, great running back, good quarterback. The last few times he's been challenged, he's delivered. Right? He delivered last week. He delivered against Pittsburgh. He delivered in the last Super Bowl he played in against the Chiefs. So, I'm not writing off Jalen. I have not made my pick.
He's in the Super Bowl again.
Why are you so vexed? Why?
He hasn't lost since September.
You sound like you want to pick the Eagles.
I'm a Kansas City guy. I'm in love with Kansas City.
Wildes mad at your take. You were delivering it down barrel so you can see it. Wildes, the whole time you're giving the take, it was like you were talking
because I think
bad
it's unfair to question a guy who all he does is show up and win games.
This is motivational.
It didn't sound like motivation. It sounded like an indictment. It sounded like the old Butler.
This is motivational. This is me saying, I believe in you.
I've heard you say that.
The floor is yours. Show us what we all want to see.
I don't want to see anything else. I want to see him with the trophy.
Whoa!
I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm a City.
You have always I'm a Kansas City guy. I'm not. I'm a Kansas City guy.
Everyone knows I'm a Kansas City guy. I'm a Kansas City.
That didn't sound like you're a Kansas City guy.
I mean, you just said you want the Eagles to win
more than in my own hometown.
Me too.
I've never been there before in my life.
Why'd you just pick?
All right, I mean,
I did not pick the Eagles. I'm just saying
the
guy just keeps winning. I'm like, can he win? I don't know. He's won, gosh darn, literally 69% of his games.
Can he win this game? That's what we want to know. Can he win this game? And you just said yeah, so.
Of course he can.
You are an Eagles guy.
I'm not an Eagles guy. I'm beloved in Kansas City.
Wildes.
It's time for the media ombudsman, everybody.
Sports media ombudsman.
Sorry, it's time. Greg's got me on tilt.
Yeah, you got yourself on
You do have yourself on tilt.
All right. So, Brou, what do they call me?
Sports media
ombudsman.
Okay, yes. Well done, guys.
They call you a lot of things, Mr. Consistency.
Thank you, Brou. And I didn't think I'd be talking about this. But when it comes to Bronny James, the rest of sports media could learn a bit from Mr. Consistency. So I'm putting the Bronny James, all of a sudden new, but really the same critics under duress. So let me just give people a quick little reminder of how we got here, okay? So Bronny was drafted with the 55th pick. And there were some folks saying, oh, that's a cool story. And like, oh, I get it. You know, a flyer on a guy who literally has LeBron James DNA, who was a high school prospect who had a brutal college year, which might have had something to do with the fact that he suffered cardiac arrest right at the beginning of the year. So it's worth a flyer. A lot of other people were like, so unfair to think about the kid who could have been drafted there. Then there was a lot of questions of, is this even good for Bronny? Is this what Bronny wants, or is this what LeBron James wants? And it's all about LeBron. And then Bronny, at the beginning of his first few G League games, well, touch and go. Not great early on. It was like, oh man, even in the G League, is he maybe a little out of his depth? And those same critics, we heard from them. And then Bronny got his feet underneath him, started playing great in the G League, and not shockingly at all, those critics didn't, I guess, have access to that all 10 film of those G League games, so we didn't hear a word about it. And then earlier this week, as many teams would do, especially older teams, thin teams on a back-to-back, called up some of their two-way guys because we might need to go to an 11, 12-man rotation, and Bronny got some minutes in the Sixers game and played terribly. Like, he was 0 for 5, 3 turnovers, 10 minutes. J.J. Wright said he played terribly, and I didn't think it'd be a story. But then I heard everywhere, this farce has to stop. LeBron James has to stop doing it, which I thought it was J.J. Redick, the whole thing. So here's why I'm bringing it up. So let's just go back to the original conversations about how Bronny in the 55th pick. How have the guys drafted right after him done so far in the NBA this season? And as it turns out, he's right in line with all of them. And you might say, well, it's such a small sample, like what does those numbers even mean? And the answer is they mean nothing. So, and by the way, the guy drafted 56 hasn't played at all. He had knee surgery, that's fine. How have those guys done in the G League so far this year? Let's look at it. Oh, well, that's an interesting piece of information. I don't know who Ulrich Chomchi is related to, but I assume he was a Nepo baby as well. Or maybe this is just what late second-round picks do. And by the way, the 3 games leading up to his NBA game on Tuesday, he had been playing the best ball of his life. 23, 6, and 5, including a game in the high 30s. So all I'm asking, folks, I get it. LeBron hasn't talked to some of you in 15 years and you don't like him. So any chance you get, you're going to take a shot at his kid and actually a shot at him. But just relax, everybody. He is doing exactly what a late second-round pick named Bronny Jackson would do, if not better. And to just only care about how he does when he does poorly is disingenuous, and the audience who's not following the G League, because why would they be, deserves a little better in my opinion.
Well, look, Bronny is a pro.
Yes.
And this is what happens in the pro level. You get criticized, so look, this comes with it. So people can have their opinion about him. I second you. He's been balling in the G League. And like you said, recently he was really playing well to the point where, because some people probably looking at it like, they didn't even need to bring him up. But he was playing so well that it was like, you know what? Let's see what he can do at this level.
That's the exact point that I was trying to make. Criticizing how he played in the Sixers game is totally fair. And JJ said it, I said it, you watched it. He played really, really poorly. Pretending as if he only got those minutes because LeBron wanted him to, rather than he was playing well. Great in the G League.
I can understand that. If you're with the Lakers, you're thinking, man, we didn't expect this in the G League.
No.
So let's see what he, can do. Yeah. And so that's what happened. But look, I've been impressed with the way Bronny's played in the G League.
Yeah.
Now, obviously not so much in the NBA, but let him keep developing, and maybe he can, do something in the league at some point.
Okay. I'm putting Brandon Beane, Bills GM, on the Bud list. And I tweeted that I didn't like his press conference, and everyone accused me of not liking the Bills. Not true. The one thing first of all, I do like the Bills.
Who's everyone that accused you?
Bills fans.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I like everybody, basically. Yeah. It really is kind of like a shot at my journalistic credibility, because I like Tua, and I like the Patriots, obviously. I like the Bills, and now I see Aaron Glenn, like, I guess I like the Jets again. I'm in a tough spot. But I think the Bills need to act a little more Belichickian. I think you can have both of those opinions, that you can share your opinion on calls that you think went against you, and at the very end, after describing those opinions and plays in depth, say, I don't think they helped us. They cost us the game. That being said, if you are going to rehash those plays, I would ask everyone on the Bills, surrounding the Bills, this question: what value does that provide your team? Any?
None.
I think none. I think it's a lesson that you learn very early on in Little League, when you come back after striking out, and you say, I was called strike. That was a ball. And your Little League coach says, doesn't matter. That's not what we're going to do. And Belichick, he didn't get ripped, but one of the knocks on Belichick is that he was curt, that he was rude, that he would be dismissive, and that he was just this curmudgeon. And then, surprise, surprise, he stops being the Patriots coach. Oh, this guy! Oh, like a lovable grandpa. Why, then, was he so curt and mean and dismissive during these press conferences? Well, maybe it was because he was diabolically focused on the future and took radical responsibility for the plays the entire game. And he would never say, hey, they would try to trap him. Oh, not trap him, hey, what about this call? I'm not worried about that call. It's not going to cost us the game. He wouldn't even give it any oxygen whatsoever. Now, I know the Bills are trying to kind of have it both ways. They're trying to be honest with their feelings about it, but by giving it oxygen, you are lending credence to excuse-making. You're in the excuse-making neighborhood, even though Brandon Beane is trying his best to say it didn't work. James Cook, on the other hand, this is what I rock with. Take a listen.
At the end of the day, bro, like, as a man, bro, like, you got to come in there and ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, that ref.
It was longer and more not safe for work. So I was like, Dusty, we're kind of playing with fire here. There's a lot of swears. There's going to be a lot of beeps. But he was not, the podcasts were like, hey, man, they were like, this ref stuff is killing you guys. And he was not even willing to give it any oxygen. And I like the Bills, and it's a great game and everything. I think the ref stuff is absurd, but don't give it any oxygen. You watch the Patriots win for 20 years by being radically focused on the future. You could learn something.
I agree with that. I mean, look, Bean may just be giving his honest view, and we get that. You think you did make it. Who knows? It was close. But I do think the best thing for your organization is to be like, that. It doesn't matter. They beat us. Yeah. We got to get better. Like that's now the fact that the coaches and Bean that they all went there tells me either they are not getting great advice from their PR people, because somebody's got to be like, Coach, we get it. We thought we made it too, but we think the best thing is to just move, whatever. Or, Nick, they really do believe the referee thing out there
both
too.
of the coaches
really
and the Chiefs have beaten have linked credence to it's unfair. And you know what's? You're you're way too nice to Brandon Beane. You were so fired up 3 hours ago. Then Bills fans responded to you, and now you did it the nice way. Nice. You know what, Brandon Beane? You know what he should have said? You know the difference of the game? I'm glad someone brought up that Xavier Worthy catch. He should be on our team, not theirs, but I screwed that up. That's my bad, guys. Keon Coleman had 12 yards in the game. He had the best game of his career, so maybe I need to be better. Instead of Clete Blake. That's what he maybe should have said.
We all have roles to play. I appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.